Hello, good evening and welcome to News 360 from the News Hub here at Adisawe Kanda. I am Portia Gabo.
And I'm Isa Moni. We are glad that you've joined us for tonight's bulletin. Stay tuned as we bring you the headlines in a moment.
News 360 Headlines is brought to you by
betting firms in Nkoko in the eastern region closed down for operating without license.
NDC Member of Parliament for Bulsa South constituency downplays concerns raised by founder of the party, John Rawlings, on possibility of a comeback in 2020.
And later in the bulletin, we tell you the story of a persevering blind, deaf, and speech-impaired student who has defied all odds to pursue higher education.
Coming up in international news, police arrest 18-year-old man on suspicion of a terror offense in connection with Friday's attack on a London tube train. Details coming up shortly. Do stay with us.
And beginning the news tonight, 2 sports betting firms in Nkoko in the eastern region have been closed down by the Gaming Commission of Ghana for operating without licenses. 10 jackpot centers have also been searched within the area, with 17 jackpot machines seized.
Ghana has been flooded with all manner of games in recent years. Notable among these is the sports betting, which has taken commanding lead, spreading through the length and breadth of the country. Patrons of these games, including children, often spend their entire day and sometimes nights at these gaming centers at the expense of work and education. But what is more worrying is the attempt by some of these operators to outwit the laid down rules and regulations. Available records at the Gaming Commission of Ghana suggested most of the games, especially sports betting centers, have no operating licenses. Efforts by the Commission to get these illegal operators to regularize their operations were not yielding any results, hence the swoop. The Nkoko operation on Friday, September 15, followed months of surveillance in the area. 2 betting centers who were operating without the necessary documents have been closed down indefinitely. The team also swooped on 10 drinking spots that operate jackpot systems illegally in the Nkoko town and environs. 17 jackpot machines were seized in the process as some operators attempted to hide their machines from the team. The exercise lasted about 4 hours between 11:30 a.m. and 7 p.m. Friday. The exercise, according to officials, will be sustained to ensure that all parts of the country are covered and the lawless operators dealt with appropriately.
Let's now go on the phone lines and speak with Beatrice Baden. She is the PR manager of the Gaming Commission. Good evening, Beatrice, and thanks for joining us.
Hello, good evening, Portia.
Beatrice, how widespread is the case of unlicensed gaming centers across the country?
Okay, let me clarify this. It's not about unlicensed gaming centers. The challenge has to do with illegal gaming machines being operated.
Okay.
You know, that is what people normally call the jackpot machine. So that is the challenge is nationwide. But for the sports betting companies, the challenge has to do with some of the companies not adhering to the rules and regulations, just as you heard in the story.
Okay.
So the main challenge has to do with the activities of route operators, illegal route operators, who are operating on the blind side of the law.
And how is this affecting the operations of the Gaming Commission?
Well, for us as a commission, if somebody operates without us giving that person the authorization to do so, it affects us in a lot of ways. One, government loses the needed revenue that a person or the operator should have paid for the permit or the license to operate. So in one regard, we are losing the needed revenue. Two, because they are not licensed by the commission, most often they tend not to know the rules and regulations governing the industry. So they operate ad hocly. And for us, it's a main challenge, especially with the route operators, because there are rules which says that minors are not supposed to even get close to the facility, let alone to engage in any gaming activity. So these illegal operators most often do not know the rules and then go contrary to the rules governing the industry.
So apart from these swoops that you do undertake, what other measures are you going to take to halt the rise in these illegal jackpot machines?
Okay, as the commission, one key initiative we are working on introducing very soon onto the market is digitizing the system. What we mean by that is we are working to introduce a central electronic monitoring system which will migrate all the operators from the analog, especially the route operators, from the analog operating system onto a centralized digital system where we can better monitor their activities. In this regard, if you are not on our system, it means that you are operating illegally. So that is one initiative in the pipeline. We're also working on introducing special stickers which will issue out to these operators. It will be one machine per each sticker, per each location. So if we come there and we see a different sticker, then we know that indeed that person is operating illegally. We also engage in the immigration service, the customs. The customs in particular, because the port of entry is one area where we have a lot of these illegal operators bringing in the machines. Now this is how they bring it in. They bring it in a form of spare parts through our port. So when they bring the machines in as spare parts, they come and assemble them in with the help of our own Ghanaians in the country.
Okay. Now, Beatrice, just before you go, those arrested, are they going to be arraigned before courts?
Well, those we didn't make any arrest yesterday when we went to Nkoko for this operation. What we've done is we've confiscated the illegal machines that we recognize. Those ones we are not releasing, we are sending, we brought to our head office in Afriyie, and it will be destroyed. The process is such that we present it to the board for a period, after a period of 30 days, we present it to the board, and then they'll give us the go-ahead to destroy. So the machines are not be released. For the sports betting centers which were closed down, the owners will come to the office and regularize their activities. But what we recognized was that some of the centers did not have the permit to operate those centers. Though the mother company has the license, those centers have not been given issued permits to be run. So those ones is closed down, and the others where we recognize minors in the centers also, we close down, and they will come to the office, and then we issue them with the penalty, we slap them with the penalties that we issue out.
All right, thank you very much, Beatrice Baden, as the PR manager of the Gaming Commission.
Now let's move to some other stories tonight. And the Member of Parliament for the Bilsa South constituency, Dr. Clement Apak, has downplayed the apprehension expressed by former President John Rawlings regarding preparedness of the NDC to wrest power from the NPP. Reacting to the comments by the former president on the NDC's chances in the 2020 general elections, Dr. Apak upheld the concerns are not new, but just a reminder to the party.
Former president, who is also the founder of the National Democratic Congress, made the comment while shedding light on his earlier comment, which implied it was impossible for the NDC to win back power from the New Patriotic Party come the 2020 general elections. Jerry John Rawlings was doubtful the party had what it takes to wrestle power from the NPP, questioning the readiness of the party. He maintained that for the NDC to regain power, there are a lot of issues it must address. He further indicated that the party as it stands has lost the moral high ground, hence the need to embark on a self-cleansing exercise.
Quite a few things, but the most important factor, I believe, has to do with the issue of the cleanup that needs to be done, the restoration of our integrity. We don't like to hear it, but I keep repeating it. We have to go back, seize the moral high ground. And I believe we know what we have to do. Okay, but I don't think we're prepared to confront it, or that's what I've noticed.
J.J. Rawlings, while touching on the party's relationship with its grassroots, emphasized the need to involve the grassroots in preparing the party for the 2020 general elections.
Let's give back the party to them. They are the ones who actually make it possible to win or lose elections. Let's respect their views. Let's respect their pains, their sensitivities. You know, let's get back to, and when I say the moral high ground, it's about time we stop using the money factor. Let's get back to the respect of our values.
The former president charged the top hierarchy of the party to come together to help restore the values of the NDC. Reacting to the concerns on the Saturday's edition of New Day, the Bulsa South MP downplayed the issues raised.
You know, the processes have begun. And we all, I mean, I want to see my party back in power. So there are processes that have started unfolding. So yes, we would always listen to caution, to guidance, but sometimes is the context and the approach that makes some feel uncomfortable.
And now joining us on the phone is Professor Ransford Jampo. He is a political scientist and director of the Center of European Studies, University of Ghana. Well, we are unable to establish contact with Professor Jampo. We will do that as soon as, conduct the interview, as soon as we're able to establish contact. Now, government is set to engage the 12 labor unions whose members have threatened to lay down their tools after Friday, September 29. This was made known by Member of Parliament for Sekendi, Andrew Kofi Ejapa Mensah, on TV3's Saturday edition of New Day.
The MP attributed the recent agitations by the 12 labor unions to the management of the second-tier pension funds under the NDC administration. The labor unions are asking government to transfer their second-tier pension arrears of over 80 months to a custodian bank of their choice, threatening to embark on an indefinite strike should government fail to heed to their demand. But the Sekendi MP believes government will definitely engage the unions to avert the threat.
You collected the funds, kept it for whatever reason, and didn't pay it to the beneficiaries. Government, since we came to power, has been up to date with all funds that have been collected in respect of the Tier 2 and paid out to the custodian account. So we have not breached any good faith relationship or sought to sit on the funds.
So what's left to be done?
These are monies that relate to the past years. And my understanding is that government is going to engage them to resolve this matter such that there will not be any labor agitation as they have threatened on the 29th of September. Why the NDC did not pay those monies to them, unfortunately, Dr. Park conveniently is not fully apprised.
It's not conveniently. I'm not apprised.
But
I think
we all know.
If I were, I would have stated it.
Well, for several other matters, we will speak boldly to it, but in respect of this, you will not.
So
but
really, beyond the engagement,
we have a responsibility as a government, if the funds are there, to pay it out. I can indicate to organized labor that this rest assured that government is going to deal with their issue head on, and we'll definitely bring a resolution to this long-standing problem.
So can you make guarantees that, can you make some guarantees that the September 29th?
Oh, they will definitely be engaged. There won't be, I do not think that there will be a strike on the 29th of September. Government is going to engage them actively to resolve this matter one way or the other.
The agitation spanned over 2 years, with the previous government insisting the central bank gives public sector workers more insurance in keeping pension funds than any other bank. With a renewed request, the engagement of the current government, which is 9 months old, is expected to determine whether the unions will prosecute their threat or back down.
Let's go outside Ghana, and discipline, respect for law and order are cardinal to the Okada Business in Benin, Cotonou. TV3 reporter Peter Kwao Adato patronized the Okada service in Cotonou and shares his experience.
Introduction and use of motorbikes for commercial purposes, popularly known as Okada in Ghana, has generated a lot of controversy. Apart from the fact that the introduction was capricious, the operators have taken the road traffic laws into their own hands, violating them with careless abandon. Not even the promulgation of a law against the practice will deter the use. What is intriguing is that the commercial motorbike business is an adaptation from the sub-regional neighboring countries including Togo, Benin, Nigeria and Burkina Faso. Yet the operators have completely ignored the best practices in road traffic regulations. On a visit to Benin's capital, I hopped onto an Okada to purposely examine their operations. Here in Cotonou, motorbikes outnumber vehicles on the road and can carry any load along with pulling riders possible. Again, the commercial riders belong to unions. Union members wear identifiable reflective uniforms embossed with their registration numbers. But the most admirable aspect of the Okada operation here is the respect for traffic regulations. Unlike Ghana, where riders jump red light at will, operators in Cotonou stop at traffic interceptions. They acknowledge this reduces road traffic crashes.
And back in Ghana, a damaged and weak electricity high-tension pole has been left unattended, posing danger to life and property at a Kropon in the eastern region. Residents say a minor accident long ago caused cracks in the concrete high-tension pole at the junction to the Okwapiman Senior High School, but has been abandoned.
The tilted high-tension concrete electricity pole here at the Okwapiman Senior High School caught our attention mid-morning Wednesday, September 13. A cursory look revealed cracks at the base, but the cracks are deep, exposing corroded iron bars. Residents recalled a road traffic accident sometime last year resulted in the damage. They explained a vehicle in a bid to avoid a pothole lost control and slammed into the pole. According to the residents, the attention of the electricity company has been drawn to the damage, but no action has been taken. Occupants of this makeshift shop recalled seeing some workers of the ECG at the site but cannot explain exactly what they had done. They feared the damaged pole could fall and appealed to the authorities to take steps to replace it to avert possible disaster.
Let's now go to the Bonafo region, and over 60% of cocoa farmers are now into cashew production. The farmers attribute the change in production to climate change, resulting in severe drought, which they say has destroyed about 70% of cocoa farms in the region in the 2015 cocoa season. A report by Johnson Techi.
The German North and South, Brekum, Wenchi, Teshiman and Nkranza are the main areas where most farmers have changed their cocoa farms into cashew cultivation. Some of the farmers also resorted to the production of oranges, moringa plants and mangoes, while others have destroyed the entire teak plantation to be replaced with cashew. Experts say cashew plant, which has the tendency to withstand any weather condition, can be planted on unfertile land, and the less amount of rainfall it can produce some fruits. Additionally, the cashew is highly demanding and needs less attention for its cultivation as compared to cocoa, which demands consistent attention. The Techiman District Cocoa Officer, Frederick Abuaje, expressed worry over the trend and predicted an effect on food production in the region.
The town area, for instance, that's Sekwa area. Vast lands are being cultivated into cashew, and those are the places where we get most of our maize and yam. So this cashew maybe 5 to 6 years time when it establishes itself. There's no way that you can cultivate maize or yam.
A retired educationist, Owusu Brempong, is one of the few farmers who have maintained his 14-acre cocoa farm at Ekrofi, which was hit by the 2015 drought.
I wrote a proposal to the government or the cocoa board, and they accepted that they will come and support farmers of irrigation all over the country. So I encourage those other farmers to stay with their cocoa farms, because we don't know the future of cashew.
He says he has not regretted going into cocoa farming, indicating the farming method he adopted has helped him throughout the year.
And now the cost of clearing gold at the pause is expected to reduce by the end of 2018. This is because government has finalized the first phase of the trade facilitation roadmap, which is looking at reducing the time for clearing goods to 24 hours by 2022.
Foreign Relations Anthony Nyame-Befi announced this at the launch of Expedite Release of Goods through Pre-Arrival Processing Project. As part of the Trade Facilitation Roadmap, targets for 2022 is looking at 50% reduction of documentation at the ports.
We hope to conclude everything, launch the pilot project, so that come by December 2018, so that come 1st January 2019 we'll fully implement it, to reduce the cost of the clearance.
The new project is expected to perform pre-arrival processing by using the existing IT landscape to enable paperless release upon arrival of goods for all low-risk shipments.
We have a project budget of roughly $800,000. Part of that will also be contributed by the private sector in kind, with their own expert, with their own training facility. So we have a project lifetime until end of next year, end of 2018. So it will be roughly 15 months.
Already, the Customs Division of the GRA has initiated the process of the operation of the pre-arrival assessment reporting system. Advisor of the Commissioner General Henry Yintumi charged members of the project to be innovative in improving the clearance process at the ports.
Risk management and the use of automation require careful consideration. The team should be dedicated, disciplined and collaborative to ensure optimum results. And with this initiative, I'm confident that Ghana would have positioned itself to place its whole country securely in the trade facilitation process.
Let's now go to the Volta region, where many residents of Lavanya have abandoned their homes as a result of the protracted communal conflicts in the area. Peter Kwao Adato reports homes have overgrown with weeds and some buildings are collapsing.
This 11-year-old girl is a native of Lavanya, though she was not born in her parents' home. The parent house beneath the infamous Mount Toji, which separates Inkonya-Tai from Lavanya, is now a pale shadow of itself. Years of non-occupancy has left it dilapidated. The little girl's parent, we are told, relocated here by the road to escape being a target. Perhaps she might not have even been born if the parent had continued staying there in defiance of the warnings. But our little friend is not the only one. Several children in the town have similar stories of being born in different homes from where their parents initially stayed. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, you will lose count trying to keep an eye on the number of deserted houses here. We are told some owners have relocated out of town, while others have joined their relatives in the center of the town. Businesses have also folded up, just like this drinking spot which used to be very vibrant. And this scenario is not only in Lavanya. It is a common scene in almost all the Lavanya and Inkonya towns. So why won't there be peace to make life comfortable for the people?
What we are saying is, it's like you standing behind your camera. If anyone tries to strike you now, you defend yourself. That is true. So they should stop it and sit at home. We also sit at home. If there is any other thing they want us to do, let us talk. Because hard words won't break any bones.
The reason why this our conflict is delaying is that the so-called mediation teams are not applying righteousness and justice. I will say this without the fear of contradiction, that it is because the justice is not being done. If justice is done, the next minute there will be peace.
However, the paramount queen of Lavanya traditional area, Mamaga Ameto, sees light at the end of the tunnel.
It's long overdue, and then somebody has to start something, because without peace, development will not come. So I want them to understand it and talk to their husbands, their brothers, so that if something happens again, they should consult their husbands and their brothers so that they will not go to the bush again.
She has urged the youth in particular to re-examine the situation and act appropriately.
You're watching News 360 from our home in Anderson Way. Still to come. We tell you the story of a persevering blind, deaf and speech impaired student who has defied all odds to pursue higher education.
Later in international news, police arrest 18-year-old man on suspicion of a terror offense in connection with Friday's attack on a London tube train.
Welcome back, and here's a story of a girl who was born blind, deaf and speech impaired at the age of 10. Yet, she is leaving no stone unturned in her quest to attain higher education. Now, 27-year-old Sylvia Pepra has gained admission to pursue a professional teaching program at the University of Education, Winneba. Sylvia completed the Ekropon Senior High Technical in 2015 with aggregate 12, but had to stay home for 2 years.
Sylvia Pepra was 10 years old when she lost her speech. In addition to the hearing and visual impairment, her helpless single mother, who had to bear all the difficult moments after Sylvia's father abandoned them, later sent her to the Ekropon Demonstration School for the Deaf. Per her condition, Sylvia can only communicate when assisted to interpret language and response. In spite of these challenges, Sylvia Pepra is committed to higher education, progressing to the senior high level within serious financial and logistical challenges. TV3 first came into contact with Sylvia in December 2013, stuck with an obsolete Braille typewriter without any textbooks in Braille, aspiring to be an economist. That expose won her a donation of a new Braille and other logistics to see her through senior high education with aggregate 12.
She has been a student in the school since 2001, and she's been working so hard. She's finished BEC, she's finished SSC. She had very good grades. She had B's, and she needs support. She needs human support. She needs financial support. She needs all the support that she can get to succeed.
But Sylvia had to stay at home for 2 years, helping to educate 14 other hearing, visually and speech impaired children at the Demonstration School for the Deaf, Ekropon.
And for the past 2 years, we've been trying to help her get into the tertiary institution, which has been very difficult. She is the first deaf-blind person who has been able to write BEC, SSC, and wants to go to the tertiary level. So yes, I understand the challenge it comes with, and I understand that they don't have the resource. But then we have the resource. We have teachers here who are specialists in deaf-blindness.
Subsequently, the University of Education Winneba has offered her admission this academic year to pursue professional teaching program. Yet, she could only accept the offer after a religious group visited the school and got wind of the development.
And to pay for her admission fee and her school fees, her hostel fees, so she can go. Her mother is a single mother, so she was having challenges in paying for her fees. So we wish her well. We pray that she will excel as she has always been doing and come out to be the teacher that she wants to be.
Sylvia is now preparing to relocate to the University of Education, Winneba, with only the initial admission requirement assured.
For her, she needs 2 resource persons at a time. She needs an interpreter and a note taker. Someone who will write the note whilst the interpreter is also interpreting to her. We hope the University of Education, they would find a way around it. And if they need support, the Deaf Blind Center here can always serve as a resource for them to support technically.
The future in terms of fees, physical and logistic support is still undecided.
She needs help to survive in school because in university you have to cook for yourself, you have to feed yourself. Formerly we were wishing she would get a training college so that there at least she can eat from the dining hall. Someone would have cooked for her. But then training college, we did everything we could to get her to the training college. So now that she's going there, we hope that someone will take up her cooking and then she'll get 3 square meals a day. And we pray that everyone who comes her way should support her.
Sylvia Pepra is counting on the benevolence of people to support her achieve her goals in life.
And that's a story of perseverance. In other news, the Bonafo Regional Children's Library has been taken over by suspected criminals and drug peddlers since it was abandoned in 2012 due to severe roof leakage. This has compelled school authorities to relocate the children and books to the Sunyan Regional Library. A report by Johnson Teaching.
Bonahafo region has 6 libraries and 20 other community-based libraries. The children's library has been taken over by weeds. The main library in Sunyai is also uncompleted and weeds have fast taken over several portions of the building. The Bonahafo regional librarian Frederick Noble Dada is worried about the inadequate funding for the country's libraries.
Through our initiative, trying to raise some little money to get some support to sustain the services we have, except that we are not able to expand or introduce new services.
He said since the establishment of the children's library, it had not seen any proper renovation till its collapse.
Sunyani District Assembly at the time, they were able to secure for us the park, the children's park, where the building in question is. And we got it, moved in, and over the years, it did not see any renovation to the point where the ceiling was rotten, the roofing was bad, it was leaking, and so we had to evacuate.
Patronage, according to authorities, is low owing to its poor state. The Senior Municipal West Chief Executive Dr. Evelyn Amakumi, when contacted, failed to comment on the abandoned children's library. The Bonahafo region has 6 libraries and
now the African Union Commission has commended the government of Ghana for implementing the free senior high school policy. Ambassador Thomas Kwesi Kwoti, Deputy Chairperson of the AU Commission, said the program would give greater impetus to the AU's agenda of having every child in school by the end of the decade.
Ambassador Thomas Kwesi Kwoti was speaking at a United Nations Conference on Trade and Development organized high-level panel discussion in Geneva, Switzerland.
Africa has the largest number of young people, and this number is looking to increase so many-fold in the next coming years. Now, this is as much an opportunity, a challenge, and a potential crisis. What do we make of it? In the AU, we believe that when we are talking about productive capacity, when we are talking about the need to enhance capacity, what we really are talking about is education.
The ambition of the African Union, Ambassador Cortes said, is to have every African child in school by the year 2020. Any efforts in this direction, he said, is highly commendable, indicating the introduction of free SHS in Ghana is a very welcome development.
The SHS program, the free compulsory secondary school program that they have introduced, is really an idea whose time has come. And Ghana is to be commended for it. Your Excellency, you're commended for this. We want an Africa where illiteracy is a thing of the past. With a literate and numerate Africa, Africa will be ready now, apply science and technology to production, look into the causes of our poverty. Part of it is our history.
The panel discussion was under the theme Accelerating Progress in Building Productive Capacities in Least Developing Countries and Other Vulnerable Developing Economies.
The Ghana Export Promotion Authority intends to develop and promote exports to achieve its non-traditional export target of $10 billion in 4 years. The authority is therefore exploring opportunities under government's One District, One Factory policy to boost non-traditional exports through an initiative dubbed One District, One Export Product to enhance local economic growth. A report by Ibrahim Abubakar.
Ghana Export Promotion Authority, GEPA, has started working with various district assemblies to identify exportable products within their localities. The move is in line with the implementation of the National Export Strategy, which merges into government's flagship program of One District, One Factory. As a first step, GEPA is holding sensitization meetings with the various metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies. Under the export strategy, all 216 MMDAs in the country have been tasked to identify at least one significant commercial viable export product to help accelerate the growth of the non-traditional export sector. Addressing officials of MMDAs at a meeting in Kumasi, Deputy Chief Executive Officer of GEPA, Eric Amwakuchum, said the export strategy is aimed at putting Ghana on the global map as a world-class exporter of competitive products and services.
Non-traditional exports provides more jobs and security than oil will ever do. The key tenets of the National Export Strategy document advocates the identification, development and promotion of at least one exportable product per district. This should seamlessly dovetail into the main government's overarching policy initiative of the One District, One Factory industrialization concept.
He explained the identified produce could also be used for valuable addition to support and strengthen the raw material base for the factories that will spring up under the One District, One Factory program. Ashanti Regional Deputy Minister Elizabeth Ajiman lauded the initiative by GEPA.
It's a laudable one that will provide the impetus for business-minded people to effectively engage themselves in this national development efforts.
Under the program, GEPA would serve as a facilitation authority to support the district in areas such as market access, packaging, and quality-related information. The move will also create a collaborative framework in each district and also support the individuals who have unique products to export.
And now, Universal Merchant Bank, UMB, is set to announce a number of key projects the bank will be involved with under the One District, One Factory initiative. At a health walk in Accra, the Chief Executive Officer of the bank, John Ewua, indicated UMB will go the long haul to assist in accelerating development of the country.
Established in March 15, 1972, Universal Merchant Bank, UMB, is a leading Guinean indigenous bank with considerable expertise in the financial sector. UMB is able to adequately address the financial needs of various segments of the Ghanaian market through its corporate, business, private and internet banking. With some 31 branches across Ghana, one UMB Center for Businesses in Kumasi, and a vast ATM network, UMB makes banking easy and accessible. The Universal Merchant Bank delivers customer-focused banking services that are friendly, relevant and rewarding.
From one economic order to another economic order, economic structural adjustment program, financial sector adjustment program, all the kind of structural changes that have happened in this country. This bank has weathered the storm and we stayed. So we are not here to just, serve the stage and disappear. We are here for the long haul. And we want to remind our customers and Ghanaians that we are 45 years and we are very good at what we do.
As part of its 45th anniversary, UMB has organized a health walk for both staff and customers in the Greater Accra branches of the bank. Participants of the 10-kilometer health walk went through the 37 Military Hospital Road down to Sankara Circle, to Dankwa Circle through to the Cantonment Post Office, then back to the headquarters. CEO of UMB Bank, John Ewua, highlighted some activities lined up to create awareness on its year-long 45th anniversary.
It's not all customers who can make it to the health walk, but we have another set of activities that is geared or targeted towards those customers. There are some that we meet on the golf course, and we will go there and we have a program, a golf tournament that is planned. There are some that would like to run or play Ludo or draft or chess. We have games planned for that. So it's series and series. Some that would like to join us in prayers, and we have a Thanksgiving service that is also targeted at that.
UMB donated 10,000 Ghana cedi to the UMB Foundation to aid in fulfilling its projects in health, education, as well as promote Guinean heritage and culture. Staff and customers who completed the walk in a record time were awarded.
In other news, the Sunyan Bishop of the Anglican Church, Right Reverend Festus Yeboah-Isiama, is asking government to investigate and prosecute officials involved in the $72 million net software scandal. He expressed disgust over the attitude of officials who tend to be corrupt. A report by Benjamin Edu.
The event was attended by the members of the association throughout the country. It is an event to review their activities over the last year and plan for the future. Speaking in an interview with TV3, the Sunyani Bishop of the Anglican Church, Right Reverend Festus Yeboah-Isiama, said corrupt officials should not go unpunished. SNIT is being investigated by the Economic and Organized Crime Office, YOCO, for blowing $72 million on procuring and installing a software and other hardware systems known as the Operational Business Suite in the bid to digitize the trust. The cost, which was originally $34 million, later ballooned to $66 million and then to $72 million due to maintenance and additional infrastructure. The Anglican Bishop of Sunyani at the conference called on the government to do thorough investigation on the issue.
Whatever is happening at the Social Security and National Insurance Trust need to be well investigated. People have worked hard and saved their money so that on their retirement they can enjoy. So it's unacceptable for any mishap to happen to their money and to their future.
You're watching News 360 and we'll be back with the latest from the world of sports. In this segment tonight, a senior lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School says Ghana's tourism sector has been under-resourced over the years and needs a boost. Dr. Brahima Mahama says the industry needs restructuring to bring out its best and contribute to national development. He's been speaking to Ajwa Mofa Osei.
In the latest GIPC report, the tourism sector recorded 0% in foreign development investment in the first half of the year. The GIPC attributed the issue to the repeal of the law that permits it to give incentives to the tourism sector to help in its development. However, a senior marketing lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School, Dr. Brahima, attributes the challenges in the tourism sector to lack of proper planning
and policymaking. He says enough resources have not been put into the sector to attract both local and foreign investors. He explains that this has over the years not helped the industry to make significant contributions to revenue in Ghana. Hence, all sectors of the industry should be looked at critically.
Expenditure on tourism is not real expenditure, it's investment. And we shouldn't fear to invest. We just need to invest properly and plan properly, and tourism would pay back hugely for us.
Dr. Brima maintains even though management of some tourist destinations may be outsourced to the private sector, strategic planning can help turn the sector around. He emphasizes that certain tourism-related activities in Ghana should be used as a platform to introduce peculiar Ghanaian products to the outside world.
You need people who understand what it is to develop a tourist destination without adversely affecting the ecosystem. And you need people to know that after it has been developed, how are we going to be able to expose it? How are we going to be able to market it out to the people, both internal and external? If we make a good job of manifest, if we market it properly, structure it properly, sponsor it properly, that would give us an opening.
He also advised government to put measures in place to make local tourism more attractive.
That's all for this edition of News 360. My name is Isa Moni.
And I am Portia Gaba. Coming up as Music. Good evening.